Steve Fountain from Radio Bath, and this morning I'm talking with George Marshallsay from Castle Combe Circuit. Good morning, George.
Good morning.
So, what's your role at Castle Combe Circuit?
Marketing and sales manager.
But I mean, that must involve so much
Yeah.
hard work.
Yeah. So mainly around the events and stuff was my main thing, but obviously we have our general offering as well, like track days, testing, driving experiences. We do under 17s driving.
Tell us a bit about the history of Castle Combe Circuit.
Yeah, so we're going into our 76th year of being a racetrack. Before that, we were, like most circuits in the UK, RAF based.
Do you know what kind of an RAF base it was? Was it for bombers or fighters?
Sterling bombers. We have a Sterling suite due to the Sterling bombers and Sterling Moss racing at Castle Combe in the 50s.
And is there anything left from those days when it was an Air Force base?
Well, the perimeter road is the track. Yeah, so that was what they built the track on. Was based off the perimeter road of the base. I believe in the middle there's still some bits of runway and stuff like that. Camp Corner is actually named there because we had quite a lot of refugees after the war staying there and stuff, and it was a literal camp.
So it's a camp from refugees from overseas.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it became something more than just an RAF.
Yeah.
RAF base.
After the RAF basically came, there was a lot of refugees and stuff who came back from Europe and stuff, and must have quite quickly turned into a racetrack. Because it was, like I say, it was all like Silverstone, and everyone was quite quick. I think it was in the 50s and stuff like that where they were really keen.
Well, they were all RAF bases, weren't they? What are we going to do with all this land?
After the war, I think everyone was just excited to get back out again and
do something
watch some
normal.
Race cars.
Something dangerous but more fun rather than flying and getting shot at.
And I think the numbers those days were crazy because it was like Sterling Moss wasn't just he was racing Formula 1 cars, but non-competitive rounds of it. But like everyone was just getting out, and I think.
So after the war, you said it was 76 years ago, so it was soon after the war, really.
Yeah.
It then became a racetrack. Who took that on at the time?
Kitty Thomas.
So the RAF requisitioned the land from Kitty, effectively.
Yeah. So it must have all just been fields and stuff. I know I used to live in Cologne, and there's an RAF base there, and it's all just the higher levels. They must have just allocated. I know there was loads at the time. But Kitty Thomas lived in the manor house in Castle Combe, and then essentially 20 years or so after her running it, where they were having numerous issues with that anyway, where at one point they weren't allowed cars on track. There was, I think, due to a big incident. But before that, they were having like Bristol Le Mans test cars and stuff like that going around, and a lot of stuff going on. But then it was like only bikes, and then cars came back in, and it was a constant battle with infrastructure and safety. And then essentially it was going to be looked in the 70s to be turned into, I think it was like a test track or maybe even just like offices. And then Howard Strawford got involved, and we're celebrating 50 years of that this year because it was 1976. And Kitty Thomas essentially went to him and asked him, would you? He was been doing a lot of like work with the circuit and like leading the racing and being like making it like all operational and stuff like that. Alongside other companies hiring it out, but he was like an instructor and doing a lot of the marshalling and managing that side. But she was like, you're very interested and very passionate about keeping this racetrack open. And he was like, yeah, I am. And she was like, would you like to take over the running of it? Because no one else it was near closure. And he was given another couple of years, put in the Armco and stuff, which is one of our red herrings for the poster this year, because we're celebrating the theme of the Autumn Classic. And then it went from there. Like we built the spectator banks, and more recently we've got like a lot more infrastructure into like catch fencing and stuff like that.
Is it a tough business to run? I mean, not just at this time, pretty much any business, whatever it is, especially in the hospitality and entertainment industry, is very difficult right now.
Yeah.
But throughout the years, has it been a tough business to run? Is it very expensive?
Yeah. So there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of costs to run a racetrack and put on events. But we have like a great following. I think we've got like a good location because there's not a lot of competitions around locally. And people do just seem to love the track. Like for club racing, I know compared to some of the other tracks in the UK, we do have a really strong following. So very grateful for like the community behind it as well, because I think that's main thing.
just before we go into the kind of racing that you have, because it's extensive and varied, you have to have a good relationship with the people, the locals, don't you, in the village?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so every couple of months we have a meeting with the head of the council for like Yatton Kennel and Castle Combe and the police force and a rep from Wiltshire Council. So we just regularly try to update them and tell them what we have going on, and we get a lot of support as well locally. And yeah, we like a lot of fans as well. Like people come up to the events because it's on their doorstep and stuff, and they get free season passes and stuff like that. So.
And because of those restrictions on the amount of noise, that presumably means there are things that you can't do that you might like to do, like Formula 3, for instance.
Yeah, we used to have Formula 3. We used to have so the rounds of the superbikes nationally, and yeah, we were even at one point looking at doing touring cars and stuff. But it's probably looking at what we can do and like maximising on it. Last year we had a big event with an American YouTuber who's a Formula Drift driver, and that event sold out 8,000 tickets in like minutes. So it's like we still can be doing stuff like that and growing the events that we can do.
Yeah, it's about focusing what you can do, isn't it, really? Rather, what you can't do, you can't do. Yeah. You're not going to be able to do it. But you do have an enormous range of different events, from karting right the way through to track days. Tell us a bit about some of those.
From the bottom up, it's probably like karting is a level into racing kind of thing, and that's from like you can come and go karting kind of thing and just like turn up on the day, or there's championships and adult racing. That's all run by our partner who's on site, who does 4x4 driving, skid pan, and then they help us. They also help us organise a lot of their like race tuition stuff as well, and they're instructors on the day as well. They're called Drive Tech and Castle Combe Karting. They organise a lot of the instructing because they race as well. So they're in the single seaters. Luke Cooper is a big Formula 4 driver at the moment, and Alan, his dad, was historically a racer, and they've been with us for a long time. But
do you need a driving licence to drive on track?
Yes, on track. Yeah. The only thing we also do start line under 17s as well, though, and we've got another under 17s partner who teaches people to drive in road conditions on track.
Would that go towards somebody taking a driving test? Is that all?
Yeah, our new partner who does the driving experiences does do junior driving experiences in the super sports cars as well. So for the track days, car shows, everything like that, anything turn up and drive on the day where we run, it's like, you'd need a driving license. Yeah.
So George, tell us a bit about track days. They sound like a lot of fun. This means that people the likes of me can bring my own car along and zip around the track without worrying about getting a speeding ticket.
Exactly, yeah, and I have done a speed awareness, and it was the local one, and they did recommend that you can go to a racetrack and go fast and learn, because people enjoy driving fast, so go do it there where it's safe. I've done driving experiences at the track, and I've done my ARDS, which is a race driver's license, which you need to race in the UK, and from there they recommend, if you're doing driving experience and stuff, the next step up is a track day where you can rent a car off someone else, or you can buy your own car, like a Suzuki Swift or something like that. And you can start low and then build up. And that's anyone can turn up on the day. And it can have, that's like a real mixed bag, from even probably like sort of race ready cars might go out and just do a few laps kind of thing, to
to street cars. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you find a lot of people get into, let's say, difficulties?
Yeah. And that's always probably one of the most popular videos on the YouTube and stuff, is the spectators filming people going off and stuff. But like obviously for our end, it's going to happen. Motorsport is dangerous, and we have to manage it as best we can. We have like a new management team who came in a few years ago, and a lot of that was around track safety. So
tell us a little bit about the future of Castle Combe Race Circuit then.
Yeah, so as we were saying earlier, we're just trying to like grow on what we have at the moment. We have like race days every year. We work with our racing club who organise all the racing for their championships, and they bring in guest racing for us. And so there's a lot of more classic racing this year, which I'm quite excited about, because the industry, I think, in classic racing is growing a lot. I've been to like Goodwood Revival.
What does that mean, classic racing?
Like classic cars, like historic vintage kind of thing. Like you have like the Goodwood Revival, which is like a 200,000 person event in spectators and stuff. And I think even with the car show culture, which is probably more what I've grown up with, you're seeing there is a lot of people interested in the rally cars, F1 cars and stuff, and seeing the history of how we got to it. But then looking at the car shows and stuff, these are main, probably bread and butter now, with the drifting and people going out and track themselves. And this LZ World Tour we had last year, which was just a drift-only event, is competitive. We essentially gave them a bit of the track, and they brought a load of celebrity names in the drift world, and they just put like fancy battles which they decided on the spot, and that was really popular. And you're seeing, the car show industry is really strong in the UK.
You mentioned the Revival, of course, which is at Goodwood.
Yeah.
They also have the Festival of Speed.
Yeah.
Would Castle Combe Race Circuit have aspirations to do something similar to that?
Yeah, we're trying to see how we can reach that. We have a performance action day this year. I know there's to be announced a few sponsors for that, which I got made aware by our commercial manager yesterday. And I think that would be the idea. If we could get something away, being a bit more, like with more supercar, sports car, classic car like elements to it as well. But I mean, our action days are very successful with the modified performance thing, and they've been going for over 20 years with this format. And before that, though, it was classic and sports cars, and even kit car just before that, I believe. So down to the 80s. So we would like to, but we also do our big autumn classic event, which is it's our biggest race meeting, I'd say, and that's we try and make that similar to like a Revival kind of esque meeting. We encourage like themed wear. I think there's an appropriate word for it, like historic dress and stuff. I think.
Yeah, because people dress up in uniforms and all sorts of things, don't they?
Yeah, caps and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
stuff from the 40s, 30s and 40s.
Yeah, and it's a really nice event, and everyone really enjoys it. And I think that's probably my favourite event, just because it's just being around all the classic cars is really special. I think anyone go there, you wouldn't be able to not enjoy it, especially with like some of the cars on show and stuff. But yeah.
Tell me about the smell.
Yeah.
Because having been to some of those events, they have a particular smell about them, don't they?
Yeah, I've kind of grown up around the race circuit. And you just kind of part of the race day. You embrace it, and the sound, the noise, the smell. It's all.
It's not just burning rubber, is it? I mean, it's the whole fuel and everything else, the oil. It's in the air. You can smell it.
Yeah, especially with the drifting and stuff. There's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of rubber. Yeah.
But with the race cars and the classics and stuff. You kind of just like grow to love it. I think. I know. I spoke to someone recently. He's like a long-term fan, and I was saying to him like, "Oh, we do hospitality and stuff. If you're interested," he was like, I want to be as close as I can, which you don't get with Silverstone and stuff. But that's the club level kind of racing at like what we do there. Yeah.
And where can anyone interested in going along or finding out what events or which events you have on this coming season, where can people go to find out? Yeah,
so our website is castlecombe-circuit.co.uk. Like, search on all the search engines and stuff, you find us, and then we have like our shows, racing sections, and then further from that, like track days, experiences, and our corporate and stuff like that. So yeah.
George Marshallsay from Castle Combe Racing Circuit. Thanks very much. Have a great season.
Well, thank you.
Cheers, George.